This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
All right, hi there and welcome. So glad you tuned in to the Georgia Farm Monitor, your #1 source for everything and anything related to Georgia agriculture. I'm Ray DeLessio.
And I'm Kenny Bergamy. A lot to talk about today. For instance, all the incredible things that are happening down in Savannah right now with the Georgia Ports Authority. A recap of the 2015 State of the Port Address coming up. Also on the show, this year's Georgia Poultry Conference with added significance due to the threat of avian influenza. We'll tell you what steps the state is taking in order to prevent a catastrophic outbreak.
And then later, we'll head to Appling, Georgia and meet the people behind the success of Springtime Water, a proud member of the Georgia growing community. These stories and more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor. And we begin in Savannah, where these days things are very good for the Georgia Ports Authority. How good, you ask? So good that 2016 will see the port embark on a $142 million capital expenditure plan. One of the many topics of discussion during the recent State of the Port Address held at the Savannah International Trade and Convention Center. While speaking to the 1,300 attendees, Ports Director Curtis Foltz sharing the good news of the nearly 2,800 new jobs and $619 million in industrial investments tied to a strong year of growth at the GPA. He also provided a much welcomed update on the port's expansion project.
Just know that we've got a lot of work to do. We've climbed many mountains, but yet we have several hurdles that we still have to make our way over. But folks, we're going to get there. We're going to keep pushing. We need all of you to continue to push, but it's nice to see a dredge that's finally out in that water. Our big priority now is securing funding on the federal side. Need a little over $400 million. Need about $100 million a year, something like that. Our entire delegation is engaged. It's front and center, but it never hurts, each and every one of you, as you meet our elected officials that are out there. Again, they get it, but it never hurts a friendly reminder from you to how important this project is and how much we've got to make sure we don't lose more time on the funding side. Rarely do you get every single commodity group that you experience growth in a given year, because that's just how the international global shipping works. One may be up and another's down, and you hope it balances out. But to have growth in every single sector was just really a once-in-a-lifetime year almost. That's kind of the way that I look at it. And when I tell people, you dream about years like this if you're in a role that I'm in. It was just a great year, and I'm forever grateful for all of you that helped us at the Port Authority make this happen.
Well, moving on now, in our ongoing focus on a possible outbreak of the avian influenza among poultry in the southeast, the Monitor tagged along for the recent Georgia Poultry Conference, where AI was the major topic of conversation. Georgia produces 7 billion pounds of chicken annually, and because some 100,000 Georgians have jobs tied to that industry, you can only imagine any threat to farm cash receipts is devastating. With that said, at the conference in Athens, the UGA Department of Poultry Science and Georgia Poultry Federation officials facilitated several sessions centered on avian influenza.
Additional raising awareness of the need of biosecurity. We know that poultry growers are receiving information from their companies, from the University of Georgia, Extension, and other sources, but we thought that there might be a role for some type of awareness campaign to reinforce the messages that they're hearing, and also to deliver in a frequent way. And so we've developed this campaign. It's all in or all gone. Protect your farm, protect your livelihood. And it has a logo, has a brand that the goal is for it to be recognizable, and a message associated with it. We're delivering weekly messages to poultry growers throughout Georgia, and also have a website where we're posting information, resources, training materials, videos that we hope will be helpful to growers and reinforce the messages that they're hearing from other people.
Dr. Louise DeFore Zavala, Executive Director of the Georgia Poultry Lab Network, told the audience that biosecurity is a priority in fighting any potential illness.
Knowing where the virus is and might come from, which is wild waterfowl that might contaminate our local ponds and surface waters and standing water around the farms, we're emphasizing with growers and companies the fact that we almost have to assume that the environment around each poultry house is contaminated, possibly with bird droppings, wild bird droppings, and the environment inside the poultry houses is clean. So instead of a grower thinking of his farm as a premise where the contamination is outside, now he has to think as each individual house as a clean premise with the contamination all around it. So what we're emphasizing is entry biosecurity into where the birds are by either changing boots, putting disposable boots on, putting boot covers on, dipping in the footpan, dry or wet, etc. And we feel that's really going to help prevent taking the contamination from immediately outside the houses into the houses.
Zavala told us there has been little to no pushback from producers across the state because they see the urgency.
Oh, we found a very receptive audience, and I think the key is really them understanding the threat. Because we don't just tell them to do that. We explain the whole AI story, avian influenza story that Dr. Swain just talked about. And then they understand that as a strong background as to the threat and where the virus actually is, and then they become very receptive. Actually understanding the virus makes him, in my opinion, very receptive to what the companies are asking him to do in enhancing that biosecurity.
We've been preparing for avian influenza, foreign animal diseases, for really over 10 years, but the summer gave us time to dive into our plans and review and make sure that we tried to think of everything possible in terms of resources that might be needed, materials, also human resources to respond. So certainly the avian influenza has got the attention of the poultry industry from the grower level to the company levels and our agencies that are our partners in the response.
Officials at the conference want to stress whether you're in the poultry industry or not, and you want to make sure you and your employees understand the possibility of AI and what you should do to spot the symptoms on your farm. Visit the Department of Ag's website. It is agr.georgia.gov. Well, when you think of fall, of course you think of pumpkins. Up next on the Monitor, Damon Jones profiles Berts Pumpkin Farm in Dawsonville. Wait until you see the size of some of these pumpkins. Incredible stuff. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia Farm Monitor. Well, this time next week, the 26th edition of the Georgia National Fair will be in full swing. Supergroups Alabama and Rascal Flats, two of the highlights of this year's fair. And for Stacy Campbell, Director of Marketing and Media Relations, the fair has been a labor of love.
Well, this is my second fair, but I grew up in Montezuma, Georgia, so I knew the fair from 1990 when it started and have pretty much been to every single one of them. It's what I wanted to do because I love two things. I love ag, growing up in Montezuma. I mean, Macon County has the highest dairy cow throughout the state, so I grew up in it. I grew up with the Mennonite community down there, but I'm also an events person. That's what I wanted to do. I worked with the Cherry Blossom Festival for 8 years and learned the event side of it and learned how to put on a large-scale event. So this married two of my favorite things into one. It married the ag community, and it's the largest industry in our state and it's what we're most proud of, as well as the event side of it with being able to produce the fair as well as the rodeo and livestock show in February. But I love to be able to travel the state and promote it and show my excitement for it. And I know a lot of people like me, it's now 26 years old. So for me, the people who grew up going to the fair when we were young, now we get to bring our kids and let them and see it through their eyes and let them enjoy it. So it's just a lot of fun, and it touches everybody in the state, whether they realize it or not. So I hope that they come and enjoy and love it just like I do. Well, this will be the third year that we partnered with the Department of Ag for the Georgia Grown Building, and we're very excited. They continue to add new things and new elements to make it fun for the people, and that way, you won't say, well, I went in that building last year, I don't need to see it again. Well, they have a lot of new items to see this year. They have a movie theater where they're going to actually have a movie running that highlights what they call the seasons and faces of ag in Georgia. So they highlight farmers across the state. They showcase what they're doing, what that means to the state, what that means to the communities that they serve in. So it's very exciting for people all over the state to be able to come into the Georgia Grown building and sit down and possibly see somebody that lives and works in their community in ag and in the farming business. They have ribbon cuttings that'll be taking place on the first day of the fair, which is Sneak a Peek October 8th. So they'll be cutting the ribbons for the movie theater as well as the new Georgia Grown magazine. We love that publication. It comes out yearly. So I encourage everybody to go into that building. They have a shop in there so that you can also purchase some of the items that they have for sale, as well as touch and see and learn about ag and what that means to the state of Georgia. We have over $600,000 worth of free entertainment by the time you come into the gates, whether it be the sea lion shows or everybody's favorite racing pigs that have been with us for 26 years. So it's, like I said, we try to make it as cost effective as possible. We have armband days, so that means you pay one price and you can ride as many rides as you want to on the midway. So if you go to georgianationalfair.com, you can find the full schedule of events and pick the day that you want to come and save some money while you're doing it.
Yeah, should be a good time. Well, if you're looking for everything and anything pumpkin, whether it's pies, drinks, or even hair products, Berts Farm in Dawsonville has what you need.
Damon Jones paid a visit to this unique operation and shows you why they pull in thousands of visitors every week.
Nothing quite says the fall like crisp weather, colorful leaves, and of course, pumpkins. And whether they're for carving for Halloween or for cooking during Thanksgiving, Berts Farm goes through more than 60,000 of them per year. Well, that's the main attraction for this agritourism destination. That's not the only thing you'll find here.
The only thing for fall, we got corn stalks, hay bales, we got all the scarecrows, anything, carving kits, anything that you want for pumpkins. And people can come out here, there's no parking fees, and they can come out here, spend $40, a family of 4, go home with a pumpkin and a hat.
Being an affordable, family-friendly place is what the Berts strive for, as they take pleasure in seeing all the younger kids running around their farm.
I enjoy these people. I really love to see the little kids, the looks on their faces, and when they go on the hayride, and they love tractors, and they love to see these John Deere tractors out here. They love it.
As for what it takes to produce this amount of pumpkins, the easy answer is a lot of hard work.
March, we turn the fields. It's no harrowing. You have to deep turn them. Then we harrow. Then we use rippers, loosen it up real deep to the subsoil, and then we lay plastic. We plant. We water, and then we have to. We usually do our fertilization through the drip irrigation, so works pretty good.
What you'll first notice when walking into the gates is all the different shapes, sizes, and colors of the pumpkins for sale. So whether it's a giant pumpkin for carving or a smaller one just for decoration, Berts Farm will have what you're looking for.
The time frame's a little different on each one of them. For instance, the big prize winners here, they take 120 days, and we got some varieties that take 90 and 110 different. But the colors and the sizes, all genetics.
So in between the country store, the pumpkin fields, and of course the hay rides, there is plenty to see around this operation. And it's important to the Berts, as they know this might be one of the few times a lot of these people get to pay an actual visit to the farm.
Kids nowadays, they get on the hayride, they go through a field where they're growing, and we got some flowers down there growing, and they get to see a little bit of a farm, and you know, kids nowadays don't get to see that very much. We have all kinds of questions, and I love to answer questions for people. You know, if they're up here and they ask me something, I'm glad to stop and explain anything that we do. And the main thing though is seeing the looks on these kids' faces when they come up. That's what I like the best.
Reporting from Dawsonville, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Damon, thank you, sir. Springtime water. It's healthy, it's refreshing, and it's made right here in Georgia. When we come back, meet the people responsible for its production and why they feel the Georgia Grown program is the best thing since, well, bottled water. Stay tuned.
At the Federal Building in downtown Athens, there are a few workers that get to spend part of their times out in a garden. Yep, It's a garden on federal property that is designed to help other people. We caught up with a few of the workers from the NRCS in Athens as they cleaned the garden preparing for fall. They're pretty passionate about the initiative passed down from the USDA.
Typically what we plant in the fall time frame are carrots, lettuce, cauliflower, and for the most part they do pretty good. What it amounts to is back in 2009, the Secretary of Agriculture dedicated the grounds around the USDA headquarters in DC as the People's Garden. The reason the People's Garden was chosen was because when Lincoln first established the USDA back in 1860-something, he called it the People's Garden. I mean, the People's Agency, because USDA is for the people. So then the Secretary dubbed the People's Garden because it's for the people. The vegetable garden, the idea behind the vegetable garden was whatever is grown in the garden will be donated to the local food bank. And currently I take the food that we gather out of the garden down to the emergency food shelter and donate it there. Well, when we first took the food into the food bank, their questions were basically, well, who are you? Who do you represent? Is this from your garden or where is it from? They were tickled to death to get it. We didn't take that much in. I think my first carry in, we had 2 squash and 1 zucchini. They were tickled to death to get it. You would have thought that I brought gold into them. They were just that excited to get the food. And every time we go in and turn in the food, it's the same way. It's, you're giving us gold, simply because the people that get this food, they can't afford to buy it. I mean, even though they have jobs and they're working, they can't afford to buy fresh vegetables. It's too expensive. It gives me, I know myself, I'm tickled to death to stand out here and see all these vegetables growing and knowing that the products that we are growing is going to someone that seriously needs it. I don't retire for another 4 years. Basically, this will be mine until I leave here, yes. Which doesn't bother me because I enjoy it, and it does help that my supervisor supports me entirely on this.
Well, recently, Georgia landowners had a great opportunity to get out in the woods and learn how to better manage their property.
Yeah, at the Agro, Forestry, and Wildlife Field Day, experts from many different areas gathered in Griffin to share information on how to make Georgia forest lands healthier, safer, and more profitable. The Monitor's Mark Wildman has the story.
It doesn't matter if you own 1 acre of land or 1,000 acres. The 2015 Agroforestry and Wildlife Field Day will help you better manage that land.
We're on the University of Georgia Griffin campus. We're on the Westbrook farm, which is located about a mile from the city of Griffin. We do research here on this farm with blueberries. There's some research with diseases and grain sorghum as well. And we even do some timber research in conjunction with Warrenell School of Forestry on this farm.
Here, representatives from many different areas of forestry and wildlife gather to teach landowners about better forestry management practices.
We have 32 different stops, and unfortunately everybody can't catch all 32 of them today. But it varies from like the feral hog problem that we have, or coyotes that you have. We've got people talking about that. We've got people talking about selling and managing your timber by thinning it or burning. Also, we have a couple of folks talking about how to bring birds to your backyard if you want to increase the bird population, as well as bats, how to improve your bats to reduce the insect problems that you may have in your backyard.
Private forest lands are one of Georgia's greatest assets. They help clean the air we breathe as well as keep our water supply fresh. But without proper management, the forest can be a liability. That is why the Georgia Forestry Commission had many representatives on site to educate and consult landowners on how they can get the most enjoyment out of their land, and how the Georgia Forestry Commission can help protect their land and others around them.
We got a lot of landowners moving into Georgia, a lot of landowners that buy land, a lot of kids of landowners that are getting older that are taking over the land ownership from their parents. And this is an opportunity for them to see new technologies or new methods of managing their timber. As well as wildlife. You know, wildlife has become a big thing in Georgia with hunting, leases, and various different things, and just recreational purposes. So this is a great opportunity to learn new technologies with planting food plots or manipulating the habitat to better increase the wildlife habitat on the property through various different things.
This event is held every 3 years, and this is the 12th event that has been held. As the years go by, landowners get a chance to see how their land has improved and are able to pass that information along to other landowners.
We cover various different things. One is our forest protection side, which is wildfires. So we have opportunities for education. We've got somebody speaking here for wildland-urban interface for, you know, like this. We're sitting here in Griffin now, which is kind of an urban area, but they do have pockets of risk for wildfires next to subdivisions. Maybe they have some larger landowners. You know, we've got somebody talking to them about that.
The weather for this event could not have been better for participants to get outside, walk through the woods, and learn how to improve the beauty and health of one of Georgia's greatest resources. For the Georgia Farm Monitor, I'm Mark Wildman.
All right, Mark, thank you, sir. Finally today, no need to travel across the globe to get the finest quality drinking water on the planet. Nope, here in Georgia, some of the best artesian water is below the ground. And the folks at Southern Beverage in Appling, Georgia, were one of the first, if not the first, bottling companies in the state to take advantage of this precious resource.
We're currently in 12 states, and we cater to grocery stores, convenience stores, club stores, military, export, so we cover a lot of bases. We do a lot of local business here as well, and contributions to a lot of worthy causes. It's a very competitive business, but as you know, we are a family business, and it's really Angie and myself and our 2 kids.
We had the family farm, and we knew we had water springs out there. So we brought in someone to actually find the springs for us with the divining rod, and I mean, it worked. And that's how things started. But our water comes from the Appalachian foothills, and it's artesian water, so it's about 900 feet under the ground. So it's pure, there's nothing that touches it, which is great.
We had gone down to meet with the head of the Augusta Farmers Market, Kathy Enrafty, just to see what we could do in the area with the farmers markets. She introduced us to Tom Neville, who is running the Georgia Grown program in this area. And then from there, it just took off. We joined. We've been very happy with the partnership. We've even redesigned one of our cases that holds the water with the Georgia Grown logo.
A lot of folks who buy our water do it for health reasons. A lot of their doctors require a very pure water to take with their medication. So that's a good aspect too. Not only doesn't have any calories, but it's better for you as far as your daily diet and your lifestyle.
It just makes me very proud because I know I had something to do with that. And you know, our whole family is that way. Our kids have grown up with the name Springtime, and our family and the community, people say, oh, those are the Springtime people. So that's a very big source of pride. It wouldn't be if we didn't feel like we had such a great product. We feel like it's just a wonderful product, and it's going to improve people's lives.
It does have a lot to do with agriculture. We are stewards of the land here as far as making sure the source is a good, clean source. So it's got a hand into the world of agriculture, especially Georgia agriculture.
Great bunch of people. Had a really good time with them. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Now, just a reminder, for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm, be sure to check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming, plus the Farm Monitor Show.
Take care, everybody. We will see you next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
As always, have a great week.